Hey everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. I get to be here with my good friend Nicki Pakkala. She came over to play with me, and we thought it would be fun to do a recording. She's got incredible ASEA testimonials. And just as a little introduction, she is a gifted healer. She uses a number of modalities. She can do it long distance or in person. She's absolutely incredible. She works on people and animals. And she's also an amazing athlete. You you won a medal in a national competition this year, which qualified you to go to the international level. It's fitting that she's wearing this shirt because it says World Triathlon Championship Finals that took place in Australia this year. And so, anyway, Nicki, let's start by, I think, as a client, anybody would just be like, if you said, "Hey, you should have some redox," I would think because you have such expertise, because you have such credibility, they'd be like, "Okay," but there've got to be some people who would be like, "Well, what is it?" How would you explain what are redox signaling molecules and how are they good for the body?
So I love that you say that because I can't remember who told me. I don't know, it's Jerry, but this guy, this surfing guy, says to his people, "Hey, dude, you should try this. This stuff is awesome," and people just try it. So if you have that, if you believe that in yourself, people will listen to your energy rather than the words you say. I try and make things. I don't go into this. If I need to go into science, I call Laura.
She leverages her resources.
She talks
good.
to them. Because I keep it super simple. I say this does great stuff in your body, and I share some of what I've experienced with it. But if I go into things like it helps your digestion, they think, well, my digestion's fine. I have a bowel movement once a month. I'm good. I'm not interested in making that any better. And it's like, oh my God, seriously? It's like, there's a problem with that. But they're not interested in that being any different. They're used to it, and that's normal for them. If you say it helps the immune system, and that they don't get sick, they don't think they're getting sick, but they have allergies, and you find this out through conversation, you can then bring them back to, okay, well, the immune system is part of why you're getting allergies. If you improve the immune system, your allergies improve. So it's about I personally just have conversations and find out what their pain point is, what they're stressed about with their health, if they are at all. There may be an athlete who just wants to recover quicker. So it's just finding out more about them and how you can make it relatable for them and meaningful. So something that they do want to have in their life, not just me spouting off a lot of great research, which is all there, which I call Laura. And some people want that, and I can send them to Laura or Dr. Maureen Hayes, or listen to some videos that speak for me, but I keep it super, super simple. And what I share for me, and it comes from that knowing. We all have stories around ASEA, whether it's a profound difference or not. We have that knowing inside that it's making that shift. For me, I was planning to climb Mount Rainier. I had a car accident a couple of years ago, and I was planning to climb Mount Rainier. So I was doing a lot of training for that, but I developed this really stuck shoulder, which doesn't help when you're using like your ice axes and everything. So this is like 2 months out going, and it was really, really, really restricted and really, really painful. And I was seeing a chiropractic at the time, and he said, "Call Laura," or told Laura to call me. So like 2 minutes later, Laura calls me and tells me about this redox. And I thought, okay, I'll try it. Within that same day, the pain was way less, and within 2 weeks, I had full movement, and I got to climb Mount Rainier on a road trip with my daughter, which is, it builds those memories, right? And that enabled me. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I probably would have backed out at that point if I hadn't been able to move my shoulder. It was a safety thing for everybody else as well as myself. So on the way back from this trip, I stopped off with Jerry White, the legendary Jerry White. He was doing triathlons, and I used to train years back doing modern pentathlon, which is shooting, swimming, horse riding, running, and fencing. but I hadn't done much for like 20 years. I kept fit. And so I did a track session with him, and it's like, you know what, I can do this. So I started training for triathlon. And when I was doing the pentathlon years ago, I got really, really, really fatigued. I got sick all the time. And so I got burnt out and I stopped. But with this, I was noticing I was training. I mean, literally the day before, I'd climbed like 9 hours downhill off the mountain. And I did a track session. I felt great. And then I was recovering after that. Okay, I'll do some more. Within 3 weeks, I did a triathlon. I qualified for nationals and then qualified for worlds. And it's yeah, I mean, I'm not that talented, but I train. But the big thing was I was getting the recovery. So it's like, at the time, I didn't think I was going to be doing much with the triathlon with all the injuries I had in the past. I just came back from Worlds and I was 7th in my age group, which is the first year of doing triathlon. So that's pretty significant for an athlete. Any athlete would realize that, especially having had like 20 years of not doing any swimming or cycling. It takes a while for the body to recover, and this gave me that recovery. So, and then just a couple of weeks before nationals, I twisted my ankle really badly. I was going for a bike fitting, a final check, and I was driving down to Massachusetts. I thought I was fine. I didn't think it was a problem. Then it suddenly started to really, really hurt, and I had to put my foot literally up on the dashboard and drive with my right foot.
While you were driving, you had your
New
your
Hampshire
leg
is
up.
fine. Massachusetts, I was a little
Live
concerned.
free or die is the motto for New Hampshire.
Yeah, but Massachusetts border. So I was driving with my left foot in rush hour traffic. I don't think I should. This is recorded, right?
This is recorded. We are recording this.
So, but I stopped off on the way. I said, I've got some of the gel, the Renew 28 in the back with the gold, and I put some on. And I couldn't, when I got there, it's like only an hour, it's a couple of hour drive, but I only remembered to do it like halfway through. So I couldn't actually take any weight while I was there, and I was like hopping around. By the time, like a few hours later, I was driving back, I could actually use my foot, and by the time I got home, I could actually walk. And the next day I could run again. I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, and the things I get spoilt by this. And then this last time, just before Worlds, I actually fractured a rib. And it's a really crazy story. It's my friend, a really good friend, gave me a bear hug and then picked me up and broke my rib. And it's like, damn. And just, it's like, I'm going to get taken out from the World Championships with a bear hug. And it's funny because in the earlier in the year at the White Mountain, there's a triathlon there, and the lead cyclist actually hit a bear and got taken out by a bear. And that would have been a good story, you know, that would be more worthwhile. But I was just by a hug. Anyway, I was expecting it to go like within a day, but I had to remind myself this is a fracture. It takes like a little longer than that, but within a week I was swimming and good to go. And that's using the gold. So, and I have a whole bunch of animals. Oh, the other thing was, it's just great. Oh, so good to have in a first aid kit. Mm-hmm. You never know when you're going to do strip meat. The other day, it was in the dark. I was using my scissors to cut something, and I took my glasses off because I can't see with my glasses on close up. Put my glasses on, and I had the scissors in my hand. I stabbed myself in the eye. Thank God. I mean, it was just like I missed the middle, but it just like had this big blood blotch, and my ASEA happened to be frozen. So the next day I saw Laura and she had the spray, and it's like cleared up so quickly. It was so great. So you never know when you're going to stab yourself in the eye with scissors. And then I have a whole bunch of animals. I don't know if I should say this loud, but I'm going to say it anyway because it's really significant. I have a really, really, really big truck, a Duramax GMC 5500, and I have my daughter's house. She has a whole lot of goats, and I could see they were clear. And I was driving out slowly.
Oh no, not this story.
And and I was just driving, but there was no rock in the driveway. I'm sure there wasn't a rock, so I heard a boom, boom on the back wheel, and it suddenly dawned on me, that was a goat. So one of the goats, they're Nigerian dwarfs, they're not that real big. He was lying, but upright, and he just had this total shocked look on his face. I don't know how he wasn't Yeah, and I thought for sure he's going to bleed out. I mean, it's just like such a weight on him. And I didn't have any ASEA with me, and I didn't live close. I wasn't able to get back that day for whatever reason. But he did actually get up. I thought, okay, well, he's either going to live or bleed out. I came back the next day. He wasn't able to move around with the herd, but he was able to eat some. But he was just lying still. And I gave him some ASEA. He literally, as soon as I gave him like a little shot of ASEA, he got up, peed, and joined the herd. Like it was literally immediate. And he's fine. He's doing great. But that was really scary. And other things, when we were away traveling, my horse, my little colt, he got a wound on his leg, and it got infected. I wasn't there to treat him. And that can be really, really nasty. It was like when he got back, it was like had the bacteria smell on it, and I just stuffed it full of that was before the gold with the Renew, and cleared up real quick.
Amazing.
So we get spoiled.
Yeah, and when horses, when they injure their legs, that's very serious.
It can be.
Yeah.
And it can really scar up as well. He's fine.
That's good.
Yeah. And I've used it many times in the dogs. I was telling Laura earlier this. We have one German Shepherd dog and hound mix, and the hound is like, okay, Mum, I'll take it. Tastes like pool water, but I'll take it. And it's like drools. He's got a little bit of jowls, and just drools a little bit of the ASEA. I put it in with a syringe, just it's easier for me. And but the shepherd just like, she's just attacked. She's just so excited about the ASEA, and she'll just like get the syringe and lick it out of his mouth, and and the baby horse, he loves it as well. Yeah, I'll get a video and put it on. Yeah, he's very excited about it. So they all enjoy it. I love that it heals things up so quickly. As I say, I just get really. It takes more than a day for things to.
And animals don't know anything about placebos, so those are powerful testimonials.
The goat was really pretty something. Yeah.
Anything else?
Oh, just so many things. Oh, sorry. That's one of my clients actually is calling. Yeah, so she uses the ASEA as well on her horses. And a chicken had a beak became infected, or something happened to her. I don't know what happened, but just put some on, and she got some like chipped out or something, but it was getting infected. It just clears up.
It is incredible. I think I have chickens also, and when I was first introduced to ASEA in 2016, my flock, they had some infection and they were dying, and normally they would live about 2 weeks, and I'd take them to the vet. I would give them the antibiotics. I would with a syringe underneath their skin, and we would have to keep it at like 98 degrees. They all moved inside. They had to live in my bathroom. It's hot in there. I would have a little buffet of food out for them. My husband's constantly stepping in their food. And anyway, it's not all that fun to have chickens in your bathroom for extended amounts of time. And there was one chicken, I'm just like, she's probably not going to be alive. When I went in to see her, and she couldn't really raise her head. And I had the idea, okay, I'm going to take a Q-tip and saturate it with ASEA and put it in her little beak. And I thought I might make her more comfortable. I didn't realize how great it was going to be. Within a few minutes, she started drinking it on her own. And then I wasn't that optimistic. I didn't know the power of ASEA, and I was just like, well, this is probably the last day that you're ever going to be able to experience sunshine. Let's just go outside and sit on the grass, and I'll just keep giving you the ASEA. A few minutes of doing that, she gets up and she starts walking around on the grass and eating bugs, and she was fine.
But that is like, everyone knows chickens, once they start to look ill, it's usually way too late. So it's like really phenomenal that, yeah.
And we have an ancient chicken right now. Our pets, they just live forever, seemingly, because they get to have redox when they need it. And I was on the internet and just playing around. I saw something pop up. It said the world's oldest chicken was 16 years old. Well, that's how old my chicken is. So anyway, you got any more good stories for us?
This whole thing is just like blows me away. But also, it's some people. I had a really obvious shift for myself, but it's just knowing, just having that. Even if you don't necessarily feel a huge change straight away, just having that it's just the knowing inside that you're doing really good stuff for yourself. And it's not the only thing. It's like you still need to eat well, just feed your mind good thoughts, exercise, all those things that really bring joy to you in your life. And but this can be this is so foundational for health, the self-signaling. And I always just again, appropriate for the person I'm talking to. If they're a hiker, okay, so you're like out on a hike and you twist your ankle and you got your phone but there's no signal, you can't get help even though you got your buddies in the car down at the bottom. That's what it does, and it helps move the good stuff you do in your life to help your whole system to be healthy. But you have to do the other stuff as well. It's not like a miracle quick fix by itself if you're not feeding yourself good thoughts and if you're not eating decent food and all that. But yeah, it's pretty. I mean, there's the animals. The animals really say it all, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Now let's take a moment to look at some science. The testimonials that Nicki shared might sound too good to be true, but it all makes sense if you consider the science that's involved. Most people don't care how the products work, they just care that they work. But if you want to go down the rabbit hole and look at some research, let me direct you to a few places. I love the website Google Scholar. I say that Google is a search engine, but Google Scholar is a research engine. It's where doctors and scientists publish their double-blind placebo-controlled studies. Do a search for redox signaling molecules and 2,650,000 results pop up. Redox is the fastest growing branch of science. So here are a few specific studies that explain why athletes love ASEA. We have our NRF2 study. NRF2 is a master regulatory protein in human cells. It acts as a primary sensor for cellular stress and activates the body's natural antioxidant and detoxification defenses to protect tissues from damage caused by free radicals and inflammation. The ASEA will upregulate the NRF2 pathway significantly. And here's a fun graph. So we have another product, Redox Gold, where we took Redox and we combined it with 24 karat gold. The 24 karat gold, it serves as a catalyst. It's going to upregulate the NRF2 expression even more. In university testing, it was shown that Redox Gold caused a very significant 160% increase in NRF2 expression. When NRF2 enters the nucleus of a cell, it signals the production of glutathione, which is often called the body's master antioxidant. I like to think of glutathione as sort of a bodyguard for your cells. With Redox Gold, this leads to an increase of glutathione production of up to 70% in healthy cells and 280% in compromised cells, bringing those compromised cells back to 98% normal. It's also important to mention, your body is brilliant. Your cells are brilliant. They take exactly what they need for optimal health, kind of like Goldilocks. So it's all modulated to maintain a perfect balance of your antioxidants, otherwise known as reductants, and your oxidants. And speaking of maintaining that kind of balance, there's a book, I love the title of this book, One Disease, Redox Imbalance. The premise is that the root cause of any dis-ease is simply an imbalance of the reductants and oxidants in your body. The ASEA will get things back into balance, or homeostasis. Another image I like is, it's a thermographic image. So thermographic imaging detects the temperature of the skin, where areas with elevated discomfort and tension exhibit higher skin temperatures showing up as red and pink in color. In a series of temperature-controlled thermographic testing, participants with discomfort were asked to apply Redox Gold to targeted areas and then wait 15 minutes until a second set of images could be taken. As you can see, the results speak for themselves, with the reds and the pinks turning into cool blues and greens. Not only did every participant show positive results in their thermographic images, but 100% also experienced rapid relief with only one application of Redox Gold. So athletes love the Redox Gold to reduce the inflammation, but our flagship product, ASEA, is also amazing for inflammation. We have our Aspen Labs study. This shows that when participants drank 8 ounces of ASEA every day for 120 days, their systemic inflammation decreased remarkably. You can get an idea of how much inflammation is in somebody's body by doing a blood test and looking at inflammatory markers. One of them is called interleukin-1 beta. In 120 days, the interleukin-1 beta decreased by about 89%. That is huge. Again, with reduced inflammation, athletes can recover so quickly when they have redox. And then we have another study. So this study showed that athletes can recover more quickly when they have redox because when someone has ASEA, 43 metabolites shift during cellular respiration. This means that 43 kinds of fatty acids become available to burn. If you can use fatty acids to create cellular energy, you're sparing your glycogen reserves that are stored in your muscles and liver. If you don't tap into your glycogen reserves, you don't build up lactic acid. And then your muscles are not sore. You can get ready to train some more. That study inspired another study to happen involving mice. So it was hypothesized that mice would be able to run longer with ASEA in their system. It was true. It increased their run time to exhaustion by 29%. So those are just a few studies that support why athletes perform better, they recover faster when they have redox. But maybe you don't aspire to be a world champion like Nicki. Maybe you just want to improve your mobility and sleep better and think more clearly and have less discomfort and elevate your mood. Basically, if you want your cells to work better and heal faster, you might want to give ASEA a try. Ta-da! All right, well, that was amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Jerry White was basically both of our best friends. And he would always sign off. He'd be like, live long and prosper. And he'd say, to infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond.
And so thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.
Bye.